Hey, everybody. Tom McCarthy, Ben Davis. Wearing our fishing shirts out here beyond Frenchie's Tiki Bar at Baycare Ballpark. We got a whole bunch of Phillies fans who are here, and some guy who's a Phillies fan, but he works for the Tigers. We'll get to that story a little later on because I think he's going to ask some questions at some point. Ben, another win for the Phillies today.
Another win. Good pitching. Aaron Nola looked outstanding.
Yeah.
Midseason form. Alec Boehm looks like he's in midseason form, hitting that ball out the right field. All in all, good day. 2 hours and 24 minutes.
Man, and I got to say one thing. So Ben has been at the office since 9:30 this morning. And this is the first time we've tested the wind with his hair, and it is not moving even a little bit.
Is there any doubt?
No doubt at all. Congratulations,
Thanks,
Ben.
Tom.
Yeah, very
Neither
nice.
is Tom's.
My hair is not moving even a little bit. Cobra, can you hold this? Like you can enjoy it if you like to. We had some Yinglings here at the old ballpark. We got a bachelor party going over here.
Nice.
Right? He wants me to try to shave my head. I said I have to hold on to the cul-de-sac.
As long as you can.
So hold on as long as we can. All right, so this has been really cool down here at spring training for a lot of reasons. The biggest thing, I think, I don't know if you guys feel this out here. I don't know if you sense this at all. This is the most anticipated season, I think, that we've had in at least since the 08 championship. And I think even more so than that, because we won the championship in 08. We got to the World Series this year. I think this is the most anticipated we've had.
Without a doubt. Obviously, with the signings that they've had, the Trey Turner signing obviously being the biggest, but he's going to be a difference maker, I'm telling you. Maybe they do win the 2 more games and bring a world championship.
2 more. That's what Rob said. 2 more.
But what we talked to Rob Thompson today during the game. What's cool to see out of this group, and it's one thing to get to the World Series. They obviously didn't win it. But to see how hard these guys had that taste of it. What did Aaron Nola say today? It was
addicted.
And that's nice to hear because not taking anything for granted. These guys are working their tails off each and every day, and it's been fun to watch them do that, and it's going to continue.
I think the answer that Aaron gave today, we were talking, folks, about the crowds at the ballpark. Like the crowds here, I mean, this is like 08, 09 all over again. It really is. I mean, the bells ringing at the Tiki Bar. But he said that the crowds this past postseason, they were addictive for the players. Like even when he said I wasn't pitching, I'm out there in the dugout and I can feel it. Like I can sense how great it is. He said he just wanted to get back out there again.
Yeah, he said he didn't like the off days in the postseason. He just wanted to be back at the yard playing again. And that's great to hear, especially out of one of your stars like Aaron Nola. But this atmosphere of what happened last October into November. I thought that building was going to fall down.
Yeah, it was great.
And thanks to all you fine folks and
Yeah.
fans. I mean, you guys deserve it all.
Yeah, those comments that Rob made about the other coaches and the players, it was kind of harkens back to the 08 World Series when Jason Bartlett, who was the shortstop for the Tampa Bay Rays, looked at Chase Utley at one point and said, "Dude, how do you play here? It is so loud." Because in Tampa, obviously, they said it was loud, but it really wasn't that.
It was loud. I mean, it was at the ballpark. It was at Xfinity Live. I mean, that place, it was mobbed. And, like, seeing the crowd today, we went to commercial break today. I said, Tom, look down that right field line.
And I did it. I did not look down the right field now.
It was, I mean, everyone was like this. It was so great to see. And have that fan support goes a long way.
Yeah, it's been all right. So Ben mentioned Trey Turner. That's one of the additions the Phillies had this offseason. Taijuan Walker was one of the others. He pitched yesterday. He's going to help this rotation, right?
He is. He's going to eat up a lot of innings, and they're going to need that. Obviously, with the loss of Eflin and Kyle Gibson, these guys that ate up a lot of innings, they're going to need that out of Taijuan Walker. And you saw a glimpse of it yesterday, what he can bring to the table. He has a very good split-finger fastball, throws it to righties and lefties, good fastball in the low 90s as well. So he's going to be a great addition as well.
And folks have asked us on social media today, and I know you guys are all thinking about it, about Andrew Painter. Mm-hmm. So I was down in Fort Myers the other day doing the game on radio, internet radio. There is such a thing as internet radio.
Yes.
Yeah. And he was impressive. Now, the elbow, there is tenderness, so we probably won't have anything until later today or tomorrow about the MRI. And that's big. I mean, obviously, because they're looking for a fifth starter. He's 19 years old. Yeah, and he doesn't pitch like he's 19.
No, he doesn't look like a 19-year-old. He doesn't pitch like a 19-year-old. I got to see him throw on the backfield here last week. And as I said during the broadcast, it kind of took a little wind out of our sails in the fact that, hey, this guy had a legit shot at breaking camp as a 19-year-old. Doesn't turn 20 till mid-April. So this was, we'll see how long. Hopefully it's not something that's too serious. They can get him back pitching again.
All right, so who's here for the first time? Anybody here for the first time in Clearwater? Yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, is it what you expected? Is it better? Is there anything else? It's pretty cool,
It's a
isn't
great
it?
spot.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
Great spot.
We're gonna give the microphone to the folks in the audience to ask some questions. So, if you have a question, raise your hand. The microphone's here. We're gonna ask you to come over here. Why? We're not gonna ask you to. We're not gonna ask you to go over there. Because I thought the camera. Right, we want it over there, right?
Yeah.
The Cobra.
The Cobra's on top of it.
No, I said that. The Cobra said no.
I think you misinterpreted what he
Okay,
said.
so we're gonna have the fans go over here by the camera.
Yes.
That's what I said. Isn't that what I said?
I don't know. I stopped listening
The
a long time
Cobra's
ago.
the Cobra's got 8 billion things going on.
Yes,
Here.
he does.
All right, so who has the first question? Tell us who you are and what your name is. Montana from Northeast Philadelphia. What's your question, Montana from Northeast Philadelphia?
You talked a little bit about Andrew Painter. What do you think about his new pitch, the cutter?
Cutter?
Um,
I thought
and,
it looked really good.
especially in like the fifth rotation. What do you think about that?
Well, I actually, coming in, I was cautious about it. I think you and I talked about this. John Nicholas, everybody. Say hi to John. I actually thought the cutter looked great the other day. Here's what I thought was awesome, is that he threw it to Carlos Correa. So it wasn't as if he just decided, I'm just going to throw it to like the number 7 batter. I'm going to throw it to the number 3, their best hitter, basically.
Yeah.
And it was actually, he hit it, but I actually thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I like the pitch. I was a little hesitant for the fact that, who am I to say I've never seen him pitch until this spring, but does he really need it?
Yeah.
It just breezed through the minor leagues. Nothing else for him to do. His fastball command, that's the thing that I love the most. 19-year-old that throws 100 usually don't have that fastball command, but he does. And that in itself, I was talking to Larry Anderson today. You said, well, he throws a fastball. Well, if you can locate it, that's 4 pitches, up, down, east, and west.
Right.
So that's something that he has. Didn't know if he really needed the cutter, but he felt he did.
Yeah, the other thing, too, is that all these guys, Zach Wheeler's coming in with a different pitch. He's trying to make his slider a little slower. Aaron Noel's coming in with a different pitch. He's trying to throw a changeup with his
Four-seam
grip, which I guess is more of a circle than anything else because the 2-seam grip is a little different. So I guess these guys just feel like they have to add things to their repertoire.
I guess.
All right, next question. What do we got here?
First of all, we got the best looking booth in baseball. Thank you.
Come on.
Unbelievable. My question is here. So, Phillies baseball, there's no doubt. We got the best fans in baseball, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
No question about it. So, we go back to the 08, the 09 days. We were selling out the ballpark every single game, right? Every game was packed. I'm watching the Bedlam at the Bank, which was an unbelievable. Who didn't watch that yearbook? Unbelievable video.
Yearbook was great.
Unbelievable video. Very well put together. Kudos to anyone who had any involvement in that. My question is, I'm looking at games in late September, and we still have a lot of empty seats, right?
Yep.
We got the best fans in baseball. We got to be there every single night. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, I live in Michigan. Tom, what do you think it's going to take to get more fans to the ballpark late in the season?
Well, I think it's going to take what we did last year, honestly. I do think there's going to be a carryover because that's what started happening. I mean, we had the new ballpark, obviously, but we didn't start selling out at the new ballpark right away. I mean, we did have a lot of sellouts, but it wasn't the consecutive sellouts that rivaled what the Cleveland Indians did until we – I mean, that's what it was. So I think winning and believing in this team, which I do think the fans do believe in this team, that's what's going to take to get the crowd to be filled.
And I also think the product that's on the field, it's not like they have a couple good players. They have all-stars. They have MVPs. And they're in the prime of their career. That's the thing.
Right.
These guys are in the prime of their career, most of them. And I think it's going to be able to sustain that for years to come.
Yeah. All right, cool. What's our next question?
Going to go to the Facebook comments. Sean Ford says, is a 94-95 win season a reality this year without Harper until the All-Star break?
Yeah, so I was asked this the other day. I felt like 90-plus wins was realistic. But here's the thing. We all have seen Vegas, right? I mean, Vegas, they come up with these answers, and you're like, how do they know what these outcomes are? So they had us, I think, at 85. I think most Vegas people had us at 85. I think 90, yes, even with Harper being out. But I don't think it's going to take that to get into the postseason again. I just think that you just got to get in and let everything work from there.
Yeah, you let it ride from there. And I think not playing the Mets so many times, not playing the Braves so many times, I think playing some lesser quality teams, I guess you could say, may add some W's in the win column. So,
yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I mean, if you go into a series, instead of facing the Mets 19 times, you face them 13 times. out of those times, maybe you miss Verlander and Scherzer X amount of times, and that could be huge down the road.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Alex here from Philadelphia.
Alex,
Hey guys, first of all, thank you for being here. Fantastic day at the ballpark.
yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. I think my question revolves around, we have a lot of guys who we're hoping for improvement from this year. We
Yeah.
have, Alec Boehm has shown some additional muscle mass added. He's been hitting some homers here in spring training. We've got Nick Castellanos, who I think we're all hoping, returns to form. Even a guy like Bailey Falter, potentially he takes hold of that 5 spot. Who do you guys think takes the biggest jump for us this year to help us to really grow into that, perennial World Series contender that we hope we are?
What do you got there?
I'm going to say Alec Boehm. You
Yeah.
just touched on him. I am loving what I'm seeing out of him. He's so cool, calm, and collected. He's got it different, as Tom said the other day on the broadcast. His body language is different. He's just carrying himself better. And I think what you saw today, he's getting his hands in a really good position to hit. First of all, he's a pure hitter, and that's what I like. But it was only a matter of time. The guy's a big dude. So it's a matter of time before he starts driving balls out of the ballpark. I'll always take average over power. That's just me. And that's what he makes him a pure hitter. But I think he's going to go to that next level and maybe start to hit a few more balls out of the ballpark.
Yeah, and I think it's Alec, yes, but I also think Bryson Stott's going to take that next step too. I think they need him to at second base. I think you saw it today too defensively what his ability was. Strong arm. He's got one of the strongest arms for any second baseman in baseball right now. Obviously, he's a shortstop playing second base. So to me, it's those two guys. I think that they're going to take a big jump. And I think a lot of it is that there's no – I don't want to say there's no pressure on them because everybody has pressure, but I don't think there's as much pressure on them as the others. So they can kind of just evolve as they want to evolve.
Yeah, I think from a pitching standpoint, you got a lot of good arms out there, but I think Sir Anthony, I think they kind of treated him with kid gloves last year a little bit, kind of watched his innings, but I think they kind of let him loose a little bit, get him in some more ball games. You're going to see that ERA continue to go down.
Yeah. All right, cool. We always talk about this bullpen not having any competition. There is competition.
No, without a doubt.
They got this kid, his name's Junior Marte, who, they acquired him in the offseason. This kid is filthy.
Yeah.
I think he's going to make this team.
He's been lights out, and Topper talked about him yesterday. He threw it in yesterday's ball game. He's 97 to 100 with a good slider,
Yeah.
and no one's really touched him this whole spring.
All right, what do you got, buddy?
All right, back into the YouTube comments. PhillyFan67 asks, with the end of the shift, do you think we will see higher batting averages by the end of the year?
Yeah. I actually think Schwarber's average is going to go up. I think Bryce Harper's average is going to go up. I actually wonder how they're going to play him, if they're going to move an outfielder over to the right center field when he's up to the plate.
I think so. I think they will. I think Reese Hoskins' average will go up as well.
Yeah.
I think, as in general, the league average is going to go up. It has to. They had this shift for a reason, and they knew where the guys were going to hit the ball on the ground, and they played it accordingly. And obviously, now that that's not there, the average is going to go up.
The funny thing is, we're talking to Stocker the other day, and I asked him if they ever shifted on anybody when he played. And he said the only guy he remembers is Barry Bonds. That was it. No, they didn't shift on anybody back in 93, 94, 95.
Yeah.
So did they shift on you?
No.
Really?
No, I just struck out and went back to the dugout.
Yeah. You bunted too that one time. Remember that?
One time, yeah, that was great.
All right. You guys remember that against Kurt Schilling? Listen, the game was in the balance. He needed to bunt. Right?
Yes,
That's
it.
All right, we're here with Gary from Cream Ridge, New Jersey. Gary.
Yes, I would like to ask you, what type of impact do you think the acquisition of Trey Turner will make on the team this year?
Well, I think that last year when they would slump somewhat because they hit so many home runs, they didn't have that quote-unquote pure hitter that can get them out. Harper, yes. I think that he's going to be able to keep them afloat in those situations.
Yeah, just watch this guy.
Doug Kemp, everybody. Doug Kemp's here.
Trey Turner just brings a different dynamic. He can just, and I've said this on Blue in the Face, he can beat you in so many different ways. It's incredible. And you're going to see it. Maybe he goes 0 for 4 on a given night, but he can possibly beat you in a couple different ways and produce a run or two. And he's just excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
The range thing. So there were 4 shortstops that were obviously out in free agency this year. If we had gotten any of the 4, we would have been in great shape. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
So, but I think he was the best one because of the overall abilities offensively. But also, you need somebody that can go get the ball like Jimmy Rollins got the ball.
Yeah.
And I think he's the closest. Listen, Freddie Galvis was awesome. He was awesome defensively, but I think that he offensively and defensively is the closest thing to Jimmy Rollins that we've had since Jimmy left.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, he's the best shortstop in the game.
Got to
And,
keep the cul-de-sac.
and you're gonna see that on a daily basis.
Yeah. He wants me to shave my head all the way off. No, it's got to keep the
You
cul-de-sac.
gotta let it flow.
I don't know. It's going to grow back at some point. Somebody's going to be smarter than all of us and come up with some way for my hair to grow back. You don't think so?
You want to tell them the story real quick?
Which one?
So Tom, years ago, when Rogaine came out,
This is actually a really funny story.
Rogaine came out. Tom's like, he was starting to lose it. This was obviously years and years ago. He goes, I'm going to try it. Why
Years
not?
and
What do I
years
have to
ago.
lose? So he gets the box. He goes up to the cashier and he puts it on there.
No, it was the pharmacist. The
The
cashier.
pharmacist.
There was no cashier. The pharmacist was there. I don't think the cashier would have done this, but the pharmacist was there.
So he puts the box up there.
Highly educated.
And the guy looks at Tom and goes,
No. He looks at me.
why don't you just tell the story?
Okay, so he looks at me. He looks at the box. He looks at me, and he's got this anguished look on his face. And then he looks at the box again. I said, what's wrong? He goes, I think it's too late. and I just burst out laughing in the middle of this.
So
I just walked the box back to the shelf and put it there.
poor guy.
And then I didn't try it.
It's all right.
I had great hair, too. Unlike yours, which is fake. But all right, next one.
All right, we're here. Shots fired.
We're here with Andrew from Bucks County as well.
So, of all the rule changes, what do you like the best? What do you like the least? And what will be most impactful?
I like the pitch timer. I think it's great. I mean, today's game was 2 hours, less than 2.5 hours.
2:24.
I thought it was great. I don't think it's going to have. I don't think it's going to affect the players after the season begins. I think that's the best one. I still dislike the extra man and extra innings. I mean, we've cut the time of the game down. Let's go back to playing the game the way it's supposed to be played.
Yeah,
That's it.
I love the pitch timer. I think it's great for the game. I don't even look at the clock anymore.
I do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
It's just the way the game's going to be played. The players are going to have to get used to it. The fans are going to have to get used to it because it's not going anywhere. But I don't think the bases, I don't think it's going to have that big effect at all. And obviously the shift is going to be a big effect. As we mentioned before, the average is going to go up. And that's the way it's going to be. I do think you're going to see, we saw it with Joey Gallo yesterday against the Twins. They pulled their left fielder, who I forget who they're playing. So they had a center fielder, a right fielder. Literally nobody from center field over to the left field foul pole. And they put the left fielder right behind second base.
I think it's going to be awesome.
And you're going to see that a lot.
I think that's going to be awesome. I actually think we're going to see that with us. I think there's going to be guys that they're going to put in shallow right field against some of our lefties. Yeah. I think anyway. So, yeah.
All right, we have another question from Dave from Middletown, Delaware.
Yeah, Philly's got a number of players going to the World Baseball Classic, and some of them are pretty big names in this lineup. Do you have any concerns about that long term as the season gets later with the extra games, high impact games early?
Well, they're either going to be playing them there or playing them here. So my only concern, obviously, would be the injury factor. I just think the older I get, I think I'm trying to get a little wiser. I don't know if it's working or not, but I think you kind of look at it like you can't control what you can't control. Injuries are part of the game. Hopefully that doesn't happen to our guys or anybody really for that matter, but they are part of the game. Either they play down in Miami or Arizona or they play here in Clearwater. So I think they're going to be playing games regardless.
We talked to JT about it last week, and what he said he's looking forward to is, and he did say that spring training games can be somewhat mundane, that there's going to be an intensity level that they're going to play in the World Baseball Classic. He thinks anyway, and he thinks having that to go along with the preparation of the game or the season is going to make them even better. Like it's going to enhance it a little better.
Oh, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
They take this to heart, and it's a big deal to play for your country, and it's going to be very it's going to be a lot of people there. It's going to be intense.
All right, what we got?
All right, Dennis, it is your birthday here. Happy birthday.
Dennis, happy birthday.
Dennis. Nice.
So I'm down here with my kids. I'm from Springfield, Delaware County.
19064.
19064.
Did you have the Delco flag up?
No, that was not us.
All right.
That was not us. So last time I was down here was 2002 when I played Phillies Fantasy Camp.
Nice.
And I was 50-some years old, and I worked my hiney off to make that team. thinking that the Phillies would see me playing and say,
Gotta have a dream.
we got to have this kid on
Gotta
the
have a
team.
dream.
Right.
Gotta have a dream.
You gotta have Dennis from Delco.
That's exactly right.
Dennis and Delco.
Yeah.
First time I've been here, I played at Jack Russell Stadium. It was a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, it
It's
was
still there.
bad.
Still there.
Is it still there?
Yeah, they host like high school and college games there.
Well, we had to fight the rats in order to take us out.
They're still there also.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're all
They
there.
might
No, I
remember
know
me.
they're there.
Perhaps they might remember me. Hey, I just want to say you guys are fabulous. The Phillies are fabulous.
Thank you.
We're
Thank
going
you.
to do great this year. So go Phils.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Happy birthday.
Dennis, happy birthday, buddy. Yep. All right, what do you got, Cobra? Oh, you. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I didn't know if you were going to get another question on social media. He wanted to think about it. All right, so give me a thought on biggest competition for the Phillies this season.
Honestly, within their division, you got the Mets with a $355 million payroll.
Right, includes my son.
Yes.
Yeah.
With your son.
Yep.
You have the Braves, who are, I know they lost Swanson, but they're just good every year. And don't sleep on the Marlins. The Marlins, their pitching staff, obviously, Alcantara won the Cy Young last year. They made some acquisitions. I would not sleep on the Marlins. I think that the division is going to be tough as it is. But you go out west, obviously, you have the Dodgers and the Padres. The Padres spend a lot of money as well.
Yeah.
Their lineup is pretty ridiculous. And, they got some arms to go along with it. So I think, I think they, when they play the lesser team, they're going to have to just flat out beat them. If they play the Reds in a 4-game series, they have to win 3 games.
All right,
Things like that, things of that nature.
All right, what about, I don't know if you guys noticed, the schedule's totally different this year. We're playing every team in the big leagues. I mean, sometimes we're on the road, sometimes we're home. Do you like that, playing more American League games?
I do, because I think just playing a team 19 times, I think it does get a little bit mundane. And as a player, you get tired of playing the same guy over and over. I think it's like playing the same golf course over and over. Kind of get tired. You use the same clubs on every hole.
It doesn't work though, a lot of times.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I do think it's great for the fans. I think it's great for the players. They won't get not that they get bored playing, but I think, facing these guys over and over kind of gets old. And I think playing in different ballparks, playing different ball clubs is going to help them out.
Well, and the thought here is that, we'll see Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani every year. I mean, that's the thought. We'll see Aaron Judge every year. They'll see Bryce Harper every year.
Right.
That's the thought.
And that's, if you think about it, Mike Trout is arguably the best player in baseball. We never get to watch him unless you're a moron like me and gets home from work and watches the games till 2 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. That's just the way it is. That's the only time you really get to see these guys.
Right.
And it's a shame, because these guys are so talented. And if you don't get to watch them on a daily basis, it kind of, you're missing out.
Yeah, it's good for baseball. What do you got?
All right, guys, we're here with Kaylin from Doylestown.
All right. Who out of the prospects, or even guys who have been up to the majors and back down, do you think has the best shot of making the opening day roster?
Well, I think if you're looking at extra men, the guy Wes Wilson who was on today, he's a minor league free agent. I think he's got a chance to make it. I think Jay Cave, who's also minor league, they picked him up off waivers. He's got a chance. Don't sleep on Scotty Kingery. I mean, I think there's a chance that he makes this team again. Yeah, I really do. I mean, I think he's done everything that they want him to do. I think he can play center field. I think he can play shortstop. He was there today. I think there's a chance he makes it. And then moving forward, I've been really impressed with Mick Abel.
Yeah,
I know he's only 21 years old, right? He's only 21. He's got some stuff. He's got some good stuff.
I would agree with all 3 of those. I do like Mick Abel. I think he's the future is bright for this young man.
Our pitching, if you can go to Lehigh Valley this year and see these guys, they're really good. I mean, Abel, McGarry, the list goes on and on. They're really good. They're really good.
All right, we're going to pop back into the online questions. We have Brandon Guthrie on Facebook asks, how do you guys feel about our infield depth?
I actually think it's better than last year in some ways because of Sosa. I think Sosa, acquiring Sosa and Harrison, I think it does help us this year. And I think that, I don't know how you feel about this, but that's part of why the moves that Dave Dombrowski made this offseason were so good, because they were sort of under the radar beyond the Trey Turner and the Taijuan Walker. The fact that they were able to go out and get some of these other players to make the depth a little bit better, because you're going to need these guys. I think that's really, that is part of the success of this offseason.
And the other thing is, at some point, it's a long season. You have to give these guys a day off. And if you're just not going to throw anybody out there, and that's why someone like Garrett Stubbs being able to spell JT Realmuto every 10th, 11th, 12th day, it's not just some slut back there. I mean, Garrett does an unbelievable job. So they're not just backups; they're very capable backups.
By the way, Scott Brander is here today. He's got the Father's Day hat right there. That's one of the giveaways this year at the ballpark. It's a pretty good one.
June 11th.
June 11th. You guys can give him a round of applause. He works hard. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a Dick Allen bobblehead this year. Fantastic. That's one of the great giveaways as well. And Scott, if you want, you can finish my Yingling in the bat right there.
There you go.
Yeah, we're here for you. We're here for you. All right, next question.
All right, we got Tony and from Old Town.
Tony!
How you doing, guys?
Good, Tony.
This is a question with all the bullpen acquisitions you made this year with Strahm and Soto.
Yeah.
Do you think that we still go to kind of like a bullpen by committee, or do you think someone emerges as like a permanent closer role?
I think bullpen by committee. That's my opinion. I think that's what Rob has alluded to.
Yeah, unless someone really steps up and
like
says,
Kimbrel.
like a Kimbrel, maybe he has a reemergence, and I still think it's in the tank for Kimbrel. I think it will be. Maybe you have to put that fire out in the 8th inning or the 7th inning where you got the bases loaded. So we have to go to this guy. We need a punch out or two. We need to get these guys. Maybe that's when you save the game as opposed to the 9th inning.
By the way, I talked to Kimbrel today. You guys remember the ballpark when he was the Braves and everybody behind home plate did the arm thing?
Right, that was hilarious.
He said that he didn't even notice it during the game, but he watched it afterward. He goes, "I loved it." He goes, "I thought it was great."
He didn't notice that.
That's what he said. I mean,
that is being in the
but
zone.
he said, he goes, "Yeah, I liked it because I thought it was great that they did." He goes, "My teammates told me about it."
That's crazy.
Yeah, but he's on the verge of some milestones too individually. So, I mean, I think they're going to give him a chance to get those as well. The Strahm pickup's big, I think.
He threw the ball really well today.
Yeah. Tony, you
Thanks,
think you can be better in an arm wrestling competition?
Absolutely not.
I would take Tony's chances.
I would take Tony also.
All right, so this is maybe a Clearwater specific question, but Chris on YouTube asks, does Ben still own his own beach?
Yes, he does. All right, so there's a beach as you come on. If you guys haven't seen it, it's called the Ben T. Davis Beach, right?
Yes, it is the Ben T. Davis Beach.
Right.
However, I don't know if many people know this. They probably don't. My name is not Ben Davis. My name is Mark Christopher Davis.
And there is no Mark
Ben
Christopher
is
Davis.
nowhere in my name. So anything official like my driver's license, it's Mark Christopher Davis.
Right, and don't call him Benjamin, right?
Yeah, my dad wanted to name me Ben. Mom didn't want that. She didn't want people to call me Benji or Benny. So my dad said, all right, name him Mark
Looks
Christopher.
like a Benji.
And they did, and ever since I was 2, he started calling me Ben anyway. So that's the way it is.
All right, so about 4 years ago, we were at a shirt kick here at the ballpark. So we would make these T-shirts, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but you can Google it. If you Google Ben Davis High School in Indianapolis, and you look at their mascot, you cannot tell me that he is not the model for the mascot. It is.
It is funny.
So we made a T-shirt. So I called out there and I said to the school, I said, "Hey, my partner's name is Ben Davis." And the guy goes, "Yeah." I said, "He looks like your mascot." "What do you mean he looks like our mascot?" "The mascot's name is the Giant."
Giants.
I said, he goes, "What do you mean he looks like?" I said, "I'm telling you, he looks like him." I said, "I need to get some shirts made." So he gives me this shirt company that makes it. This guy's like 85 years old when I called him. So I sent him his picture, and he goes, because he didn't believe me. I sent him his picture. He goes, "Well, gosh darn it, yeah, he does look like the mascot." But if you Google it, you'll see he not only looks like the Brawny Man, but he looks like the Giant from Ben Davis High School.
And when Tom says we got on a T-shirt kick, it wasn't we, it was him. So it's just Tom.
No price for comedy.
That's right.
All right, one final question from Jeff.
So I know this is a big competition. I'm wondering who wins the golf between the TV crew and the radio crew.
Well, TV, because we have Ben.
No, Kevin Stocker's the best golfer in all the. He's really good.
I don't know, Kruk, if we had you and Ben against Stocker and whoever, like Larry or Scott, we would win that.
I don't know. Kevin's really good. Kevin's really good.
Well, we just won't tell him the right date then when he comes. When we had the competition.
I had to borrow Stocker's clubs the other day, and I was not playing well. They were a little short for me, so I kept blading balls. And I texted him after the second hole. I said, "Your clubs are terrible." And he wrote, "Why?" I said, "I just bogeyed a par 10." So.
All Stocker's son, Jeff, is a professional golfer. So he's got to have it somewhere.
Yeah.
Ben's son is not.
No.
He just spends a lot of Ben's money.
That's true.
Yeah. Cobra's ready.
Here we go, Cobra. All right, guys. One final question from the online comments. Sports Card Collector 20 on YouTube asks, how much will Reese Hoskins' defense improve?
Well, I think he's gotten better every year. I know that last year people wondered about some of the plays that he made. It's not for a lack of work.
No.
But I think he'll get better just because he works his tail off. It's got to be Dan McDonough, everybody. Dan McDonough. Yeah. Danny. Danny McD. Not sure what he's doing.
A little big. Wear it like you own it. Well, this is
that's the OA World Championship.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I actually what was the question? Oh yeah, I think Reese's defense is going to. Here's the thing. He is what he is. It will get better.
Yeah.
Because he works his tail off.
As long as he drives in more runs than he lets in,
right?
I'm down with
and
that.
I will say that if he does leave at some point, I think we're going to miss him. I know we're going to miss him as a person.
He's great.
But I think we're going to miss him. That's
He's
my
a great
opinion.
guy.
So.
But I think he does. I mean, he was on the backfield today working for as long as could be. And, I mean, he does work his tail off. So.
All right, everybody. Ben's leaving tomorrow, so everybody say bye, Ben.
See you guys. I'm going to miss this place.
Yeah, we're going to miss you too. Just kidding. All right, so we're hoping you're back again before the end of spring, but if not, we'll see you during the season.
Absolutely.
All right, Ben Davis. Guys, thanks for coming out today. We appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you patronizing the ballpark and all the grub here. And let's go Bills.
Go Bills.
2 more wins, everybody. 2 more wins. Cobra. Rock it on, buddy.
Cobra out.
Out.